and welcome back to the 360 Perspective podcast with me, Trisha. Wow, this is our final episode of the season. Yes, not of the year, but then the final episode of season 3. And what a journey it's been! Just a beautiful journey of just seeing God's faithfulness throughout. And I just want to begin by, first of all, thanking each one of you who've been a part of the 360 Perspective podcast family. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed to this channel. It's been a wonderful journey, just journeying with each one of you. And I am super, super, super grateful. So this final episode is not really a deep conversation. I think when we are ending the year, there's usually this meme of you're literally barely making it through the year, especially when it comes to work. So it's just an easy episode just to reflect on what the year has been, what this season 3 has been, the highs, the lows, the celebrations, and all the good stuff, and all the in-betweens that have happened, as well as just some of the key takeaway reflections that personally for me I have gathered and learned from this season that's been. So the first one definitely is to thank each one of you who's been a part of this journey. We've definitely grown over 2K subscribers. Yay! Drum rolls. Truly, truly grateful for each one of you who's been able to share this episode. Those who've left comments, super, super grateful for the different guests that I've gotten to have in this particular season. Shout out to Chepchikoni. She's been such a huge contributor to this podcast. Shout out to Anjo Bwaka. She's been a great contribution to this podcast in the different conversations that we've had on here. Annabelle, Nyasha, Nyawera, and amazing, amazing guests that we've gotten to host on this podcast in this particular season. And I'm super, super grateful. It definitely takes a whole community to be successful. And so, as the year ends, it's good to end with gratitude and just taking time to reflect on the people who've been a key part of your journey. And definitely to top it up, I am super, super grateful to God for His provision. Running a podcast is not easy, it's not cheap as well, but then God has consistently provided. Super grateful to Trio Media back in Kenya, where I used to record these episodes, and just had a team that was supporting and editing, and just the friends who've been heavy contributors to the success of this podcast. I just want to begin the reflections by saying thank you so much. Asanteni sana to everyone who's been a part of the journey in this year's and this season's podcast episodes. The other thing that I am truly, truly grateful for is that this year we got to have our first ever live experience. Whew! Yeah. That was definitely something. I wasn't really sure whether I was gonna make it to do the live experience. It's something that God put in my heart to do it, and honestly, I have to say that this year had a lot going on. I got married beginning of the year. A lot of transitions. Let me just say in summary, a lot of transitions in my life happened this year, from getting married to moving to a new country to leaving my job to having to look for another job in Dubai, where I moved to finding a new community here, finding a new church, a new home, a new house, a new everything. And so the transitions, definitely they can be something if you don't have the grace to just handle them. But I'm super, super grateful that God gave me the grace to navigate these different transitions in my life with so much grace and so much ease and so much joy and so much strength and wisdom. And I'm truly, truly grateful for that. The fact that He gave me the grace to even continue recording content despite the multiple transitions that I was going through, and even just to pull together the live experience event. Definitely that was something, because it just happened like a couple of weeks or months prior to relocating to Dubai. And so just being able to do that live event in Kenya was a huge highlight for me this year in regards to the podcast, and I'm truly, truly grateful to everyone who contributed to the our first ever live experience on the theme of redefining success and failure and just growing together in our faith. Truly, truly grateful for everyone who showed up and everyone who was able to chip in one way or another to making our very first live experience a success. Asanteni sana to everyone who was a part of that. And hey, if you haven't checked out the episodes on the live experience, just make sure you catch up on that, because we had such an incredible time and such in-depth, meaningful conversations just around redefining success and failure and what that means to you, and the different guests in the panel that we got to engage with during the live experience. So make sure you catch on that conversation, even as we prepare, and we look forward to 2025. I don't know how 2024 has been for you. Maybe you can share in the comment section and let us know how has the year been for you. Do you have any highlights, any lowlights, anything that you are grateful for? But one thing I know for sure is that, success and failure is almost inevitable in this journey called life, and just how we handle it is what truly, truly matters. So I think that was such a meaningful conversation to have. And so it will be a meaningful conversation to also just reflect on, even as you map out your goals and your visions and your plans for the coming year in 2025. It will be important for you to just take time to reflect. What are the highs? What do you consider as a success for you this year? What are some of the things that you consider was kind of like a failure? And then how can you use that, after evaluating, to shape up what 2025 will look like for you. So I'm super, super grateful that we were able to do that, and anticipating to doing more live events in Dubai. Hey, can I hear somebody say amen? Yes, so that's the other thing that I'm truly grateful for this new season of being in a new country, looking forward to engaging more diverse audience here in Dubai, people from different cultures and ethnicities. And I think definitely that's something to look forward to in the upcoming episodes and season 4, just getting to have different guests here in Dubai who I'll get to engage with in the different conversations that we'll have. So definitely that's something exciting, looking forward to it, and just praying that God will somehow continue providing. Definitely things that have had to change a bit after relocating to Dubai, because then it's meant figuring out what recording content is gonna look like, because you're Dubai and cheap. If you've been to, or if you've heard about life in New York or London, yeah, Dubai is just right there. Same with Up Group, life is quite expensive, but I'm just trusting God to give me the wisdom to know how to navigate this space of content creation, building and creating content that is edifying and growing our faith and challenging the narrative, really. So my prayer is that I won't, I won't be held back because of the unique challenges here in Dubai, but that the unique challenges will allow me to and propel me forward to creating more content, and just as Christians occupying this space of media and filling it with content that is enriching and edifying to our faith as we, grow closer to God, and even as we challenge each other to Christ-likeness. So that is definitely one of my top prayers, even as I look forward to 2025. The other thing I wanted to celebrate is the new vision for the 360 Perspective podcast. I have to say that there's a lot that God has been pouring in my heart in this season, even in regards to not just the podcast, but the different spaces and the different community that He is calling me out to step out in faith and be a part of. And so my prayer is that I'll have the courage in the upcoming year to just step out in boldness and do some of the things that God is calling me to do in the coming season. But other than that, I wanted to just share some of my top reflections from this year. And the first one is the key lessons that I've picked from 2024 is leaning on God's faithfulness through every season. yeah, this year has had definitely there's been a lot of changes happening in my life, but I think the thing that has remained constant is learning to lean on God's faithfulness and His grace, even with the changes and the different transitions and the different seasons that I've had to encounter in my life. And truly, I can say that it's been beautiful to just watch God coming through in so many beautiful ways, and I'm truly grateful for that. And I definitely want to encourage you, even as we look forward to the new year, lean on God's faithfulness and grace, because He freely gives it to us as His children. And so instead of struggling through issues or trying to navigate different seasons of your life, you can ask God for the wisdom and the grace and the joy to navigate those different seasons, whether it's happy seasons, whether it's sad seasons, whether it's difficult seasons where you don't know what to do. Lean on God's faithfulness and His grace, even as you look forward to the new year. The other reflection that I have gleaned on in this year is community matters. Yeah, if you don't have a community, I'd say 2025, may that be one of your top goals. Find a community that is healthy, that is God-loving, that is edifying, and plug into that community. I've personally seen how community has come through for me this year. Like, it's been, like my whole life, honestly, and the success of my life is rooted on community. Like my community back in Kenya, and even the community that I've started building here in Dubai, I've seen how God has used them to really enrich my faith, but also be there for me and show up in such beautiful ways, just because I've been intentional in being a part of a community. It's been beautiful to watch how God has used the community around me to be such a blessing in my life, but more so how God has also used me to be a blessing to the community and the people that He's put around me. So I'd say community matters for anything that you desire to do in this life. If you really want true genuine success, then be a part of a community and live your life helping other people, but also give them room to be a blessing to you whenever those kind of opportunities open up. And then the other final highlight, oh no, it's not the final one, the second last one is growth happens through challenges. I know sometimes challenges can be hard to navigate, but I've personally come to realize that when we take on challenges with so much faith, and we take that leap of faith and we take that first step, then it's so amazing to see how God shows up for you. And a good example for me was doing the live 360 perspective experience, the live experience. Honestly, let me tell you guys, I canceled that event twice. And I know the minute that I mentioned it in one of the episodes that I was putting together a live event, and even shared like the dates that I was planning on in the month, like that was it. I had to hold myself accountable regardless of the challenges that I was going to face. And the amount of growth that I saw when I did that first event was, it was insane. Like, I think for me, doing that first event was just an evidence and a proof that actually this mountain is not as big as I thought in my mind it was, and that it's actually possible to do some of these things that God puts in our hearts for us to do, because He gives us the grace and He already has the people to help us, execute the things that He's put in our hearts. But all that God requires for us is to take that first leap of faith. And when you take that first leap of faith, you'll be so much amazed how God will show up, how God will come through, the number of people that He will send. If it's finances that you're concerned about, you'll be surprised how God will send people to financially support you, or even just use their skills and literally just show up for you. Because when it's a vision from God, then His providence is also there. So yeah, that's one of the biggest reflections for me for 2024, the fact that growth comes with challenges. So in 2025, don't be afraid of the challenges that come your way, but embrace them with the strength and the grace that God so freely gives us whenever we encounter challenges. And just know that if it's a vision that is from God or whatever challenge it is, God is there to navigate and help you navigate it well and with so much grace and ease. And the final one is just how, you know, transitions can stretch you, but in beautiful ways, just like challenges. And so don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of transitions. Once again, God's grace is there to help us navigate the different transition and the changes that happen in our lives. I know as human beings, man, yeah, we're not so quick to adapt to changes. It's easy to resist change than it is to embrace change. But personally, for me, one of my prayers has been that God may give me the grace to embrace whatever changes that are in alignment with His will and His purpose for my life. So I think for me, those are some of the things that I wanted to just share today, some of the reflections. I don't know what you're reflecting on as we wind down this year. Do you mind just sharing some of the things that you've learned throughout this year, what God has been teaching you and what He's been challenging you on, and some of the things that you are carrying forward even as we look forward to the new year? But that's it for today. Definitely looking forward to season 4 of the 360 Perspective podcast. I know it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. My prayer is that I'll continue doing the live experience events, whether it's here in Dubai or, as God leads and as He opens doors, possibly then doing some in Kenya. We'll see as the Lord leads. But definitely super, super excited about this upcoming season of the 360 Perspective podcast. And yeah, just praying that we're going to continue journeying together. Don't forget to keep sharing some of the episodes that we've done on this podcast with your friends, with your family. Invite them to be a part of the 360 Perspective podcast. And my prayer is that we'll continue growing together, challenging each other, inspiring each other, and just drawing closer to God as He transforms us from the inside out. And as I finish this episode, I just wanted to leave you with this verse in Jude 1, 24 and 25 that says, "Now unto Him who is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of His glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and forevermore." So just be encouraged that throughout our different journeys of faith and pursuing God, that He's able to sustain us and He's able to take care of us. So it doesn't matter what season you are in life, just know that God's got you. He's got your back, and He's able to uphold you and sustain you through the different seasons of life, even as we look forward to the new year. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey in season 3, and looking forward to seeing you in season 4. So here's to wishing you a Merry Christmas and a happy, fruitful, satisfying, God-filled New Year in 2025. God bless you, and until then, it is a goodbye.